I'm going to tell you what God has given every person under the sound of my voice. He's given you a dream. Dreams motivate us. Dreams energize us. In all of your getting, get a dream in your life. Get it from God, and then you become unstoppable. A dream is the inward picture of the future you desire. And don't underestimate it. And don't act like it's not important. And don't act like it's not spiritual. God is the giver of dreams. And when God is going to do something in your life, He'll give you a picture first on the inside of where you're going before you ever get there. And He says, live into that dream.
You know, when God gives you a dream or a vision for your life, it's not something that you can just get away from. It's like it's there to stay, and you're either going to do something about it or you're going to be pretty miserable.
Sometimes it feels like it's just some idea that can never happen. Sometimes it feels like a distant dream. Do you know that even with your imagination, that you are serving God? The Bible tells us, one of my favorite scriptures in Ephesians 3:20, it talks about how God is able to do beyond all that you can ever ask, think, and imagine. God can go beyond that exceedingly, abundantly, far above all of it. You may feel like you're just sitting down and all of a sudden you get lost in this idea of who you truly are in God, and you think that you're just daydreaming, not recognizing the Holy Spirit is dreaming with you. The Holy Spirit is actually showing you the truth of what is possible and what is able, what you are able to walk in because of your relationship with God.
Nothing is more natural than to dream. In fact, most people dream too small. Very few people are ever accused of dreaming too big, and God never rebuked anybody for dreaming big. Over 3 times He rebuked Israel for thinking and dreaming too small.
Don't give up. In trying times, don't stop trying. Regret looks back. Worry looks around. But victory looks up. Victory says, I know God is going to help me. A man is not finished when he's defeated. He's finished when he quits. The successful trait of all successful people in the Bible and in life is they conquered the temptation to give up, especially when it gets tough, especially when all hell is coming against you. Stand up on your hind feet. Stand right there and say, you know something? It isn't the final say so until I say so.
And that's the reason a lot of dreams from God never come true. We give up just too quick. People who fulfill their God-given dreams are people who refuse to quit. They're not the most brilliant. They're not the most talented, not always better skilled than you. They don't always have the best of resources. They're just people who refuse to let go of their dream.
You cannot think about life and say, well, what if I make the wrong decision? What if this doesn't work out? What if it does? And that's what I want to remind you. And what if it actually does not work out? You even have to embrace that too. What if I start this and it just runs to the ground? But then could it be that through that there is a wisdom that I would receive that would actually be what I needed to manifest what God has called me to do?
Whatever your failure has been in the past, don't let that stop the dream that God gave you in your heart. If you once had big dreams, but you've now, because of time or setback or failure, you've become discouraged about whether or not that dream is ever going to be realized, dream again. Re-engage that dream. God says, my gifts and my callings on your life are irrevocable. God has not changed His mind. You may have, but He hasn't. And the value of your dream is what you're willing to pay for it.
You have to learn to start where you are. Big doors swing on little hinges. The Bible said in Zechariah 4, despise not the day of small beginnings. And so many people say, when I get a big break, when a big door opens, when somebody notices me, when somebody sees my talent and really invests in me, when somebody gives me that big break. But that is not the key to success. The key to success is to start where you are. Right where you are. Not when things get better, not if things were different, not if you had what somebody else has, but start where you are. What are your assets? Stop focusing on what you don't have. What do you have? Well, I'm not good in math, and I'm not smart, and I'm not this, and I'm not that. But God has given you something that can win the battle. If I had somebody who'd really believe in me, if I had what somebody else has, I'd really do something for God. God has given you a talent. God has given you an ability. Start where you are. Use what you've got. Do what you can, and God will do what you can.
George Mueller once said this: faith does not operate in the realm of the possible. There's no glory for God in what is humanly possible. Faith begins where man's power ends. The Bible tells us that nothing is impossible with God. He delights in impossibilities. You might say to me, Rick, I can't see God working on my dreams in life, in my situation or circumstances at the moment. I don't sense it. And I'm going to tell you something. It's okay not to know how. I've been confident many times in storms that God would prevail, God would come through. Philippians 1:6, that which I have begun in you, I will perform it till the day of Jesus. I've stood on that. But I have also said, I sure don't know how you're going to do it. That's not unbelief. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I am confident you'll do it. And you may not always sense His presence or see Him visible in your dream or circumstances, but God is always there, and you can't see Him, but you can feel the tug of conviction that He puts on your heart, and you can go on faith believing His promises are true. Not one of us knows where our faith will ultimately lead us, but we're not to fear following God. I know God is good. I know He has good things in store for any follower of Him. His plans for you are good and not evil, to give you a hope and a future. If we shrink back and refuse to believe and follow God, then we miss out on the reward of His promises.
Get your passion back. Start believing again. Start hoping again. Start dreaming again. This can be a destiny moment for you. See, I'm done letting fear and can't do it thoughts dictate my life. I'm done making excuses as to why I can't go after my dreams. I believe I'm a mighty hero. It's not too late. You can still accomplish your dream. You can still live an abundant life. There is greatness in you. Jeremiah said, there's fire shut up in my bones. There is potential, talent, increase that you haven't tapped into. Get rid of those limiting thoughts. You and God are a majority.
You know, I once heard a pastor said something and I loved it so much. He said, anything plus God is everything. I love that. He said anything, and you could even make it shorter. You could say anything plus God equals everything. When God is in the mix, that is all it takes.
There are things in your future greater than you've imagined, but there will always be dream stealers, naysayers, people that try to pull you into their shade. They're insecure. They'll try to talk you into being insecure. You really think you can go to college? You really think you can start that business? You really think you're going to beat that sickness? They live intimidated. They'll try to pull you into intimidation, fear, doubt. Don't take the bait. Stay in the sun. God is going to cause you to blossom, to go places no one ever thought you could go. It's going to surprise your family. People are going to be amazed at where God takes you.